I've been in the public eye since 5. And, you know, before there was an Usher, there was an Orlando Brown. Before there was a Tiana Taylor, there was an Orlando Brown.
You're a legend. No denying that.
Before there was a Bow Wow, there was an Orlando Brown. Before there was a Sierra, there was an Orlando Brown.
I feel like a lot of people understand that, you know, you just got to be careful with what you play with when you're playing with the intelligence of a certain individual. They want to play with themselves. Oh, well, he's talking to code. No, I said I'm not giving my asshole up. That's not a code. Ain't no code to that. What I know and what I don't. I know what I know and I know what I don't. I can't tell you about what I don't know.
You've heard the whispers, seen the memes, caught the side eyes at award shows. But what if everything you suspected about Hollywood's dirtiest secret wasn't just gossip? It was a biological weapon disguised as a party invitation. Orlando Brown isn't just naming names. He's exposing a systematic infection campaign that turned A-list careers into contamination trails. From Usher to Will Smith, Meek Mill to Kevin Hart, the dots you've been afraid to connect are spelling out the entertainment industry's most devastating cover-up. Tonight, we're not just talking about who got famous, we're revealing who got infected getting there. Buckle up. Here's the truth nobody wanted to admit. Orlando Brown wasn't having breakdowns, he was having breakthroughs. While the world laughed at his erratic behavior, he was speaking in the only code that kept him alive. Because when you're up against an empire that silences whistleblowers permanently, sometimes crazy is the only camouflage that works.
I feel like a lot of people understand that, you know, you just got to be careful with what you play with when you're playing with the intelligence of a certain individual. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you be careful because normally where there's smoke, there's fire. Nobody's gonna keep on, you know, poking at the bear if there's nothing to poke at the bear with. You know, and back then I was poking at the bear, bro. Like I was poking at the bear. Nobody was you know, caring, and you know, everybody thought, oh, well, just stop posting and all this, you know, and now it's starting to make sense because it's not about hiding anymore. And a lot of people have been hiding.
I got in my Diddy mode. I'm sorry, I started licking my lip. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash goosmash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the shmooshmash. Diddy. Yeah, son. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gave me the ooshkash muash. I love it, yo. I love it. You gave me the ooshkash muash. Bro, the requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
Nigga, you can take the bitch, but he wants you. He ain't worried about that bitch. he is not worried about that bitch at all.
That Ushkash Umaf wasn't gibberish. It was survival code. Orlando knew that speaking plain English about Diddy's operation would get him eliminated, so he wrapped the truth in madness. And now, with Sean Combs sitting in federal custody, every crazy warning Orlando gave is starting to make perfect sense. But here's what makes this even more calculated. Orlando wasn't just protecting himself. He was protecting everyone else who was too scared to speak up.
Wouldn't it work for Wendy?
To play crazy.
Why wouldn't it work?
Hey, no. Hey.
The oosh goth whoosh wash. Orlando's brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all spent time with him.
We did.
Yeah.
He's highly intelligent.
Yes.
Imagine what it's been like to wear this character for this long.
No. I can only...
That he does is a character. Actually, the shit he does online is the best acting he does.
Is he speaking truth?
Of course he is.
You know?
Jaguar Wright saw through the performance from day one. She recognized that Orlando's mental health episodes were actually strategic theater, a man playing insane to avoid becoming another industry casualty. Because when you know what Orlando knows about Diddy's freak-off parties and the biological consequences, staying silent isn't just complicit, it's deadly. Let's be real about who Orlando Brown really is. This man has been in the public eye since he was 5 years old. 5. That's 3 decades of watching Hollywood's machine operate from the inside. seeing how stars get chewed up, spit out in silence when they know too much. Orlando witnessed things that would break most adults while he was still learning to read. He saw the Preds masquerading as mentors, the parties where innocence dies, and the NDAs signed in blood and baby oil.
I've been in the public eye since 5. And, you know, before there was an Usher, there was an Orlando Brown. Before there was a Tiana Taylor, there was an Orlando Brown.
You're a legend. No denying that.
Before there was a Bow Wow, there was an Orlando Brown. Before there was a Sierra, there was an Orlando Brown.
It's levels to this
It's
shit,
levels.
bruh.
It's
yeah,
levels.
It's definitely levels to this. So if you want me to act high, I'll act high. If you want me to act drunk, I'll be drunk. If you want me to say some Raven shit, I'll say some Raven shit. You know, it's now we're watching these interviews, and like I've said before, it's at a 1 hour and a half, and we're not turning this into a movie. Who needs to be fired? Who needs to be fired? We're watching these interviews at 100, like at 100 plus minutes. Is what I'm saying to you. And who needs to be fired for allowing me to keep sitting? What did they want to see? They label it whatever the they want to label it. That's why I don't care. They can label me whatever the they want to label me. You can't put me in a box. It's the Holy Spirit. By any means necessary, it's going to shine bright. By any means necessary. I done been arrested, set up, damn near almost every damn day. But it's how you maneuver it.
So, when Orlando chose the crazy camouflage, it wasn't mental illness. It was survival instinct honed by 30 years of industry trauma. He knew that the moment Diddy's secret started surfacing, anyone who could connect the dots would become a target. The erratic persona wasn't Orlando losing his mind. It was Orlando keeping his life. Because in Hollywood, the truth tellers don't get therapy, they get funerals. Let's talk about how Diddy built his empire. For decades, Sean Combs wasn't just throwing parties. He was running the most exclusive auction house in Hollywood, where careers were bought and sold behind locked doors. Every A-lister, every rising star, every industry executive knew that a Diddy party invitation wasn't just social currency. It was a golden ticket to the top of the entertainment food chain. Stars would literally line up for months, begging their agents, their publicists, their managers to get them into those legendary gatherings, because everyone in Hollywood understood the unspoken rule. If Diddy didn't know your name, your career had a ceiling. And if he did know your name, well, that came with its own set of requirements. Orlando Brown watched this cycle play out over and over again. He saw the hungry looks in celebrities' eyes when those white party invitations dropped. He witnessed the desperation of artists willing to do anything, and we mean anything, for a seat at Diddy's table.
If you're on the outside looking in and you become a person that can be close to Puff, man, you made it, is what you're thinking.
Okay.
You never thinking these problems is gonna happen, but when he pull his dick out,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
You better suck it.
So if you, no, it's not just you better suck it, it's you know, you better fuck it and suck it.
Yeah. And hire some other dudes to suck it too.
Yeah. So it's like, and now I'm like, nigga, that's what you was doing? Like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I can't vouch for that. I can say you was a good friend, you was a good family member, and I can say that you was definitely, you know, a good uncle and all that. I don't know your parties and
This wasn't networking. This was systematic exploitation, disguised as opportunity. Orlando knew the price of admission because he refused to pay it. While others were making sacrifices in private rooms, Orlando was taking mental notes, building a case file in his head about how success really worked in Hollywood's upper echelons. The parties weren't celebrations, they were transactions, and Orlando Brown was keeping receipts.
You know what I'm capable of. They want to play with themselves. Oh, well, he's talking to code. No, I said I'm not giving my asshole up. That's not a code. Ain't no code to that. I'm not bending on even no couches. Y'all ain't running up my asshole. Ain't no studio for me to go to go get ripped and be looking like somebody's funny. Get the out of here. None of that.
Now let's talk about what happens when the truth starts catching up to you. When Lil Rod dropped that lawsuit naming Meek Mill and Diddy's alleged activities, Meek didn't just deny it. He completely lost his mind. The man went nuclear on social media, offering $100,000 rewards, threatening lawsuits, demanding investigations. That wasn't the response of someone who was innocent. That was the panic of someone who knew the walls were closing in. Meek's erratic behavior told the whole story. Deleting tweets, contradicting himself, going from angry denials to desperate pleas for people to leave him alone. Classic guilty man trapped in a lie behavior. And the more he protested, the more obvious it became that Lil Rod had hit a nerve that went straight to Meek's core. But here's the kicker. All that public freakout, all those legal threats and social media meltdowns, none of it mattered because Orlando Brown had already seen what Meek was trying so desperately to hide.
When you saw this lawsuit that made it seem as if perhaps Diddy and Meek Mill had sex.
I mean, to each their own, and why would they not have sex when they're gay rappers?
They.
Do you think Meek Mill's gay?
We all know he's gay.
Who's we?
Rick Ross knows he's gay.
I didn't know. It's news to me.
Everybody, Rick Ross knows.
Do you think Rick Ross would sign a gay rapper?
Rick Ross knows he's gay.
Orlando wasn't guessing. He wasn't speculating based on court documents or industry gossip. He was speaking from direct knowledge, naming names with the confidence of someone who had witnessed these encounters firsthand. And Rick Ross getting lumped in there, that wasn't a random accusation. That was Orlando connecting dots that the public hadn't even started to draw yet.
When Diddy got locked up, Meek Mill came out saying that he'll pay somebody $100,000 to investigate that he has nothing to do with anything with Diddy.
Man, look, you can't take back what your butthole received. That's just like the video that's coming out with him and Will. With Will Smith getting the Will Smith. You ain't heard the Will Smith footage?
Yeah.
All right, Will Smith. Then they got the Carl Winslow. Yeah, they got a lot, bro. It's a lot coming out, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just keep it to you 1,000.
The fact that Orlando can casually mention specific videos, giving details about what's allegedly on those tapes, should terrify everyone involved. Because if those recordings exist, and if they surface, Meek's social media meltdowns are going to look like child's play compared to what's coming next. Orlando isn't just talking, he's promising receipts. And in Hollywood, receipts are everything. Now we need to talk about the man who might be patient zero in this whole sick equation. Usher Raymond. Everyone knows the story about 13-year-old Usher living with Diddy, but what Orlando Brown is revealing goes way deeper than anyone imagined. This wasn't mentorship. This was conditioning on an industrial scale. Think about it. Usher was just a kid when he got thrown into Diddy's world, and by the time he emerged, he was a different person entirely. The confident, talented teenager went in, and what came out was someone who'd learned to survive by perpetuating the same cycle that nearly destroyed him.
Did you call him Gusher?
I said Usher is a gusher. That's what I said. I said Usher is a gusher. It was nice.
I don't even want to know why you say that.
His whole thing is accusing everybody of being on some mystery Illuminati gay shit, right?
So what? They shouldn't have showed me their cooches.
Orlando's not just throwing around crude nicknames here. He's identifying Usher as someone who became complicit in the system, someone who went from victim to participant. And that Gusher reference, that's Orlando's way of saying Usher opened the floodgates for what came next. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. According to industry insiders, Usher didn't just survive his time with Diddy. He learned to use the same playbook on the next generation.
I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile on your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They're not seeing the victim. They're not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like, what kind of asshole do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young kids.
Usher basically fed Justin Bieber to Diddy to save himself from continued. Think about that level of calculated survival. Usher, knowing exactly what Diddy was capable of, allegedly delivered a vulnerable teenager right into the same nightmare he'd barely escaped from. It's the ultimate example of how trauma creates more trauma, how victims become victimizers just to survive. But let's talk about the man who's probably losing the most sleep right now, Will Smith. The moment Orlando Brown started dropping names, Will went into full damage control mode. And nothing screams guilty louder than a man who's supposedly innocent going out of his way to deny allegations nobody officially made. Yet, the timeline tells the whole story. First, brother Bilal drops that bombshell about Will's secret life, confirming what industry insiders have whispered about alone should have been enough to make Will lay low, handle it privately, maybe through lawyers. But when Orlando Brown started connecting Will to Diddy's freak-offs, something in Will Smith snapped. He couldn't just ignore it. He had to address it publicly, breaking his own cardinal rule of never responding to gossip.
I don't have shit to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all their meetings. Stop all that bullshit. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off. Listen, I do enough of my own. Don't be putting me in other people's.
That wasn't damage control. That was desperation. Will Smith stopping his own comedy show to address Diddy allegations shows you exactly how terrified he is of what might surface, because when Orlando Brown casually mentions that there are specific videos coming out, Will knows exactly which videos he's talking about.
I'm not condoning what it sounds like on when Will Smith get in the on video and camera and audio. I'm not, trying to condone what it sounds like when, Meek Mill getting in the, on camera, on video. I'm not trying to get, all in between the business of, Reginald Bill Johnson getting in the, and all that other, but what I'm talking about is some real gangster and some real G is, you wanted that dick in your You wanted that dick in your ass. You wanted that extra $1 million or whatever the case may be, and you can't blame the person that gave it to you. And that's Puff. Puff like the. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna blame that man. You know what I'm saying? Because he like the. I was like, yo, man, no, thank you. That's simple, man. I got a couple $1 million just saying I don't want to. Tell your truth. You know what I'm saying? Tell your truth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm used to certain things, like, yo, man, tell the truth. You get, but if you want to stay in the room, man, you get. And a lot of people got Puff fucked a lot of people, and it's not nothing wrong with who he and how he fucked them. It's all on video and audio. And that's what they fucked up at. You can tell me Puff going away for a long time, bro, but do you not hear the of Meek Mill? Do you not hear all of the shake it off, take that of Will Smith?
Carl Winslow, Will Smith, Meek Mill. Orlando's not just throwing names around randomly. He's giving us a preview of coming attractions. And Will Smith's Public Panic tells us everything we need to know about how real these allegations are. But what happens when you give Diddy everything he asked for and still get thrown away like trash? YK Osiris represents the most tragic part of this whole system. The artists who sacrificed their dignity, their identity, their very manhood, only to discover that compliance doesn't guarantee protection. Osiris thought he was playing the game right. He took those suspicious trips with Diddy, posted the intimate photos, played the role of the willing participant. But what he didn't understand was that once you're in Diddy's web, you're never really safe. You're just useful until you're not.
Like, this shit is not right, man. So what the f I'm living for? Like, why the f I'm on this earth for? Like, why, like, Osiris, why you haven't even, like, this crash, like, this do something that like, at this point, it's like, why the f you on this earth still? Like, why you still, why the f you, like, why the hell you on this earth? Why, when nobody with you? It's like, you don't have nobody. Like, what the f are you on this earth for? I can't even see my kids. Like, what the I haven't made no music. I haven't made no money from music in like two and a half years.
That breakdown wasn't about career frustration. That was the psychological collapse of someone who realized they'd sold their soul and got nothing but humiliation in return. Osiris gave up everything that made him a man, thinking it would secure his place in the industry, only to discover that Diddy's loyalty has an expiration date. But here's what makes Osiris' story even more tragic. He tried to warn people, and they dismissed him as just another celebrity having a public meltdown.
This industry is not what you think it is. Don't let these people fool you, man. Before in the social media, I'm gonna give y'all a little background of me, man. Like, my life is not perfect, man. Don't think because I'm on Instagram showing this, showing that, I don't got a perfect life either. And I want you to understand that just because all these rappers show all this money and show all this fame, don't think their life is good. It's not. These people are always faking and let you know that this is not what y'all want. Do something that's low-key. Do something that can help you out other than being a target or a flashy. Because God can take this away from you real quick, and it's not a blessing from God. And I tell people that 24/7, this is the devil's game. It is not. This is not no God's game. This right here is for you to look up to me. This right here for you to look up to me. This right here is for you to look up to me. If I don't wear this, you don't look up to me. If rappers don't do what they do, you won't look up to them.
Sound familiar? Just like Orlando Brown, Osiris tried to tell the truth about what was happening behind the scenes, but the public wasn't ready to hear it. They saw his pain as entertainment, his warnings as the ramblings of a failed artist. Now we know he was giving us a roadmap to understanding exactly how this system destroys young talent. But let's shift gears and talk about someone who's been flying under the radar in all these Diddy discussions. Kevin Hart. Orlando Brown isn't just naming random celebrities. He's calling out people who allegedly climbed to the top using the same playbook that destroyed so many others. Kevin Hart built an empire on being the everyman comedian, the relatable guy who made it through hard work and talent. But according to Orlando, that success story is hiding some very dark chapters.
What Kevin Hart did in order to be where he's at. Now, I don't know if it was Kevin that pissed him off. I don't know who it was that pissed him off. But I do understand that the comedy road is nothing to play with. And since, Richard Pryor left us, God rest his soul, it's more like, everybody's trying to be Richard Pryor. And I can't put myself in position to not understand why
Kevin been pissing off a lot of people, you know, comedically. You know what I'm saying? And I think that instead of trying to bash somebody that knows what they're talking about and bash somebody that has respect in the comedy world, I think that they need to look deeper into why is he letting this information go? Why is this information just now being released? Why, I mean, come on, why does his chain look bigger than any rappers that I've ever seen rap? Why, out of all the comedians, does he still have a $3 million mansion in Malibu? Why, out of every single comedian, does he still get picked on? But still looks like he's getting a check for nothing, just to sit on his couch, and everybody else look like, you know, they're has-beens.
This connects directly to Cat Williams' explosive allegations about Kevin Hart, that his rise wasn't organic, that there were powerful forces pushing him to the front of the line, while more talented comedians got sidelined. Orlando is essentially confirming that Cat Williams was telling the truth about Kevin's path to stardom. And now, with Kevin offending people left and right, as Orlando puts it, those secrets that helped him rise are about to become the same secrets that bring him down. Because when you build your career on other people's silence, you're always one angry insider away from losing everything. The industry protects you as long as you're useful. But the moment you start making enemies or become more trouble than you're worth, those same people who helped you climb will gladly watch you fall. But here's what should terrify everyone in Hollywood. The names Orlando Brown has dropped so far are just the appetizer. According to Jaguar Wright, we're looking at the tip of an iceberg that goes deeper and darker than anyone imagined. She's not just talking about a few isolated incidents. She's describing a systematic infection campaign that's been operating in plain sight for years.
I mean, he actually caught HIV, like having like a lot of women.
Oh yeah, let's just go down the rabbit hole of all of his sins.
I'm just saying.
You want to know what's wild about that though? He faced that head up.
He did.
And he didn't stop doing what he's done.
He an advocate. Now he did that. And
period. Listen to me. He faced that head up. How many dudes is running around undetectable? G.
Come on.
In the game.
Man.
Because I could tell you 20 right now that I could rattle off names, and wouldn't nobody be able to sue me.
Think about what Jaguar's really saying here. She's claiming there's a whole network of A-list celebrities walking around Hollywood right now, living with HIV and keeping it secret because revealing the truth would expose how they got infected in the first place. We're talking about at least 20 major names who've been playing Russian roulette with their health and their partners' lives, all to protect their careers and Diddy's empire. These aren't random accusations from someone looking for attention. Jaguar Wright has built her reputation on exposing industry secrets, and she's putting her own safety on the line by claiming she has specific names and evidence. The fact that she's willing to be sued means she's confident in what she knows. But here's the kicker. All the denials, all the legal threats, all the damage control in the world won't matter once those videos surface. And according to legal experts, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Do you think the videotapes will ever be released?
Do we live in America?
He said, do we live? There's a dog.
Because I will tell you, if you just pay attention to the testimony, there were videos on an iPad that the employees had access to, right? And you can't tell me, anyone who's watching this, they've been anywhere and something was going down and somebody said, hey man, give me a copy of that. Right? Yep. I mean, we can go back to the R. Kelly tape. That was VHS. Right. You know how hard it is to make a copy of a VHS? and it was probably 30 or 40 of them tapes in every neighborhood. Right. Right? Now we talking about digital. Now we talking about, hey man, airdrop me that video. Right? Hey.
Spread like wildfire.
Exactly. Because I am pretty sure either through the dark web or through one-sided consent of some sort, it's going to be released.
The legal system has those tapes now. Federal investigators have been through Diddy's houses with a fine-tooth comb. And if Orlando Brown and Jaguar Wright are right about what's on those recordings, then every celebrity sweating right now has good reason to be terrified. Because once that evidence becomes public, there's no spinning it, no explaining it away, no making it disappear with NDAs and settlements. The reckoning isn't coming, it's already here. And for 20+ celebrities living with Diddy's biological legacy, their time hiding in plain sight is about to run out. So here's what we're left with. Orlando Brown's crazy warnings are looking more like prophecy every day. And if those videos surface, Hollywood's about to face its biggest reckoning ever. The question is, when the dust settles, who's going to be left standing? And more importantly, how deep does this infection scandal really go? If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.